I haven't watered this garden bed in 19 days. And I want you to look at these plants. The tomatoes are loaded. The squash leaves are broad and deep green. The peppers, standing straight up like nothing's wrong. No drip line, no sprinkler, no soaker hose buried in the soil. Just one layer of mulch, built the right way. And that single layer has done more for my garden than 3 summers of daily watering ever did. Now, I know how that sounds. 19 days with no water in the middle of July. I wouldn't have believed it either. But stay with me, because what I'm going to show you today could save you hundreds of hours and hundreds of dollars every single growing season. 3 summers ago, I was the person out there every morning with a hose in one hand and a coffee in the other, drenching every bed before the heat rolled in. And I'm not talking about a quick pass. I mean 20, sometimes 30 minutes, dragging hoses around, adjusting sprinkler heads, checking soil with my finger to see if I'd actually gotten deep enough. By mid-afternoon, especially in July and August, the soil was already cracking again, bone dry, like I hadn't done a thing. So I'd go back out in the evening for a second round. That was my life, twice a day watering, and I thought that was just what gardening required. I thought everybody dealt with this. Then one August, we went to visit family for about 2.5 weeks. I didn't have anyone to water, no automatic system. I fully expected to come home to a dead garden, and when I pulled into the driveway, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The one bed I had mulched heavily that spring, the one I almost didn't bother with, was thriving. Everything else? Fried, brown, done. But that bed, it looked better than when I left. That moment changed everything for me. I started researching why. I started experimenting. And what I found, over 3 full growing seasons of testing, is a specific mulch layering method that consistently holds moisture for 2 to 3 weeks, without a single drop of supplemental water. My water bill dropped by nearly 60%. My time in the garden went from daily chore to weekly enjoyment. And my plants? They've never been healthier. Here's what nobody talks about when they say, just water your garden daily. The sheer amount of time, money, and stress that sentence actually represents. Let's actually break it down. If you're spending 20 minutes a day watering, that's over 2 hours a week. Over a 5-month growing season, that's roughly 43 hours. 43 hours, standing there with a hose. That's more than a full work week, just on watering. Now the money. The average household in the U.S. sees their water bill jump anywhere from $30 to $70 a month during summer, almost entirely because of garden and lawn irrigation. Over a season, that's easily $150 to $300, just to keep your soil wet enough to grow a few tomatoes. But here's the part that really got me, and this is what most people never consider. Daily shallow watering actually trains your plants to develop shallow root systems. You're keeping the top 2 inches moist, and the roots just sit there. They don't push down. They don't seek out deeper reserves. So the moment you miss a day, or the heat really spikes, those shallow roots can't cope. The plants wilt, they stress, they drop blossoms, and you're stuck in this cycle where the more you water, the more you need to water. It's dependency, plain and simple. And honestly, the garden industry doesn't mind that one bit. Sprinkler systems, drip line kits, hose timers, moisture meters, all designed for a problem that, in many cases, The right mulch layer can solve for almost nothing. I'm not saying those tools are bad. I own some of them. But when I realized I could get better results with materials I already had on my property, for free, it made me wonder why this wasn't the first thing every gardening guide teaches. What I'm about to show you isn't some fancy irrigation system or an expensive self-watering setup. It's a mulch layering method that turns your soil into its own water reservoir. I call it the 3-layer moisture lock because it uses 3 distinct layers of organic material, each one doing a different job, and together, they create a system that holds, regulates, and slowly releases water over weeks, not hours. Now, this isn't just throwing a bag of bark chips on your bed and calling it a day. That's what most people do. And it barely helps. A single layer of wood chips lets moisture evaporate between the gaps. Wind blows it around. It breaks down unevenly. And it does almost nothing to stop the sun from baking the soil underneath. The 3-layer approach works because each layer serves a specific purpose. The bottom layer holds moisture like a sponge. So the middle layer insulates and feeds the soil biology. And the top layer reflects heat and blocks evaporation. It mimics what happens on a forest floor, where you can dig down under a few inches of leaf litter and find damp, rich, cool soil, even in the middle of a dry summer. That's not an accident. That's nature's mulch system. And once you understand it, you can replicate it in any garden bed, raised bed, or even container. The materials are simple, and most of them are probably already in your yard. You'll need cardboard or newspaper, plain, uncoated. You'll need partially decomposed leaves or grass clippings, the stuff that's been sitting in a pile for a few weeks. And you'll need a top layer, straw, wood chips, or even dried pine needles. That's it. 3 materials, 3 layers, and roughly 45 minutes of work for 3 weeks of hands-off moisture. So let me walk you through exactly how I build this mulch layer, step by step, because the order and the materials matter more than most people realize. Step 1. Start with a deep soak. Before you lay anything down, water your bed thoroughly, and I mean thoroughly. You want moisture down at least 8 to 10 inches. This isn't a light sprinkle. Run your hose on low for about 15 to 20 minutes, or use a 5-gallon bucket and pour it slowly across the bed. The goal is to fully saturate the root zone, because this is the last watering this bed is going to get for a while. If you skip this or rush it, the whole system underperforms. I can't stress that enough. Step 2. Lay down your cardboard or newspaper. Take plain corrugated cardboard, remove any tape or staples, and lay it directly on the wet soil. Overlap the edges by at least 4 to 6 inches. If you're using newspaper, stack it about 8 to 10 sheets thick. This layer does 2 things. It blocks light from hitting the soil, which kills weeds before they start, and it holds a surprising amount of moisture against the ground. Within a few weeks, the cardboard breaks down completely, and earthworms go absolutely crazy under it. You'll see them, dozens of them, right at that cardboard soil line. Step 3. Wet the cardboard down. Take your hose and soak it again. You want that cardboard completely saturated, heavy and floppy, not stiff and dry. This is a step a lot of people skip, and it makes a huge difference. Dry cardboard actually pulls moisture out of the soil. Wet cardboard adds to the moisture bank. Step 4. Add your middle layer. This is where your partially decomposed leaves, grass clippings, or a mix of both come in. Spread this about 3 to 4 inches thick, evenly across the wet cardboard. Now here's where most people make a critical mistake. They use fresh grass clippings straight from the mower bag. and it mats down into a slimy, anaerobic layer that smells terrible and actually repels water. You want clippings that have dried for at least 2 or 3 days, or leaves that have been sitting in a pile long enough to start breaking down. They should be damp, not soaking, and crumbly. This middle layer is your moisture sponge. It absorbs water, holds it, and slowly releases it down through the cardboard into the root zone. It also feeds your soil biology: worms, fungi, beneficial bacteria, all the life that makes soil actually work. Step 5. One more soak. Water this middle layer thoroughly. I know it feels like a lot of watering for a method that's supposed to eliminate watering, but this is front-loading. You're charging the system, like filling a battery. Every minute you spend soaking now saves you days of watering later. Step 6. Add your top layer. This is your armor: straw, wood chips, or dried pine needles, spread about 3 to 4 inches thick on top of everything else. This layer is your evaporation shield. It reflects sunlight, blocks wind from pulling moisture out, and keeps the layers underneath cool and damp even when it's 95 degrees outside. If you're using straw, make sure it's seed-free straw, not hay. Hay is full of weed seeds and will cause you more problems than it solves. Wood chips work great, especially arborist chips if you can get them for free. A lot of tree services will drop a load in your driveway if you just ask. Pine needles are excellent too, especially around blueberries, strawberries, or anything that likes slightly acidic soil. Step 7. Shape the edges. This is a small detail that makes a big difference. Push your mulch layer right up to the base of your plants, but leave about a 1-inch gap around each stem. You don't want mulch piled against the stem. That invites rot and pest problems. And along the edges of your bed, build the mulch up just slightly, like a shallow bowl. This catches rainfall and directs it into the bed instead of letting it run off the sides. Now, here's a pro tip I learned after my second season. If you're in an area with really intense heat, I'm talking consistently above 95 degrees, add a thin scattering of compost between the middle and top layers, maybe ½ inch. This extra layer holds even more moisture and gives your soil biology a boost during the toughest months. It's not required, but in my experience, it extends the no-water window from about 3 weeks to sometimes closer to 4. One more thing, and this is crucial. If you notice your top layer of straw or chips looking really dry and pale, don't panic. Dig down about 2 inches with your finger. If it's cool and damp underneath, the system is working perfectly. The top layer is supposed to dry out. That's its job, sacrificing itself to the sun and wind so the layers below don't have to. So what does 3 weeks without watering actually look like in practice? In my garden, the results have been consistent across 3 growing seasons now. My tomato plants produce about 30% more fruit because they're not going through the stress cycle of wet, dry every single day. The roots push deep, really deep, sometimes 18 to 20 inches down. That deeper root system pulls up minerals and nutrients that shallow-rooted plants never access. My squash, which used to wilt every afternoon like clockwork, stays upright and firm all day. The leaves don't crisp. The fruit doesn't get blossom end rot, which, if you've dealt with it, you know is almost always a moisture consistency problem, not a calcium deficiency like people claim. So now let's talk money, because this matters. I tracked my water bill over 2 full seasons. The summer before I started this method, my water cost averaged about $68 a month from June through September. The first summer using the 3-layer system, It dropped to $29. That's over $150 saved in one season. And the materials? Cardboard from my recycling, leaves from my yard, straw. One bale costs about $8 at the feed store, and that covers roughly 2 full raised beds. So, for less than $20 in materials and one afternoon of work, I eliminated daily watering for an entire growing season. The plants are healthier, the soil is richer, the worm population has exploded, and I'm spending my mornings drinking my coffee instead of dragging a hose around. Here's what I want you to do. Pick one bed, just one, and try this method before your next hot stretch hits. Do the deep soak, lay the cardboard, build your layers, and then walk away. Check it in a week. Dig down and feel the soil. I think you're going to be surprised, maybe even a little shocked, at how cool and damp it still is. And once you see it work in one bed, you'll want to do every bed you've got. Tell me in the comments, what's your biggest watering frustration? And after you try this, come back and let me know what day you finally had to water again. I'm betting some of you will go even longer than 3 weeks, especially if you're in a cooler climate or you've got clay-heavy soil. If you want to learn more about building incredible soil without buying anything, I've got a full breakdown on composting in place that pairs perfectly with this method. And if raised beds are your thing, I've covered how to set those up for almost zero maintenance. This, right here, is how we stop being dependent on daily routines that eat up our time and our money. Your garden should work with nature, not against it. And a good mulch layer, built the right way, is the closest thing to an autopilot system that nature ever invented. Try it and see for yourself.